Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Danny. Today I'm going to be talking about the Kjaer Weis Invisible Touch Liquid Foundation. Now, like all Kjaer Weis packaging, it's so gorgeous. It feels so luxurious. It comes in a dropper bottle. Now, I do want to tell you a little bit about just more information about it. So this is a $48 foundation, which is pretty pricey, but it makes sense for Kjaer Weis. That's kind of around their price range. It is a luxury clean beauty makeup brand. So this does come in 24 shades, and if you're not sure which shade to choose, they do have a kind of like a shade finder on their website. So on their website, you can choose your skin tone. So you choose fair, light, medium, medium dark, or deep, and then you choose an undertone, which is cool, which is a pink, red, or a blue type of undertone, or neutral, which is a mixture of warm and cool undertones, and then warm, which is a golden or yellow undertone. I have the shade F134 Refined, and this is described as a light warm peach undertone. This is a makeup artist designed skincare infused certified organic formula for fresh and lightened skin. This is supposed to be good for all skin types, but we're going to put that to the test today. We're going to see how it works for acne prone skin. So is it really good for all skin types? We're going to find out. This is supposed to have a serum-like formula that builds from light to medium coverage. It says use a little for a fresh-faced luminous glow and add more for a natural looking medium coverage that smooths, evens, and perfects. I am going to tell you more about ingredients and stuff like that, if there are any ingredients to look out for if you do have acne prone skin. First, I'm going to go ahead and do the demo, and then after that I'm going to do some check-ins throughout the day, and I'm also going to tell you more about the ingredients. So let's just go ahead and get right to the demo. Also, a quick disclaimer, I wanted to add this to the beginning of the video. I did very kindly get sent this. I don't have any obligation to post. I'm not being paid to say anything. Plus, I wouldn't just... No, I wouldn't do that. I'm always going to be honest with my review. So, of course, I'm going to be telling you guys my honest thoughts of this, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I did get gifted this. Alright, so I've got you zoomed in so you can see my acne really well. I know that sometimes the camera or lighting can kind of blur the skin, but I really want you guys to be able to see what my skin looks like. So if you have acne, you can really see how this foundation is going to work on acne prone skin. So as embarrassed as I am, I'm going to show you because I really want this to help you guys. For application, it says you want to start off, of course, by shaking the bottle. So I'm going to shake this bottle. For light coverage, apply 3-4 drops on the back of your hand and apply with your fingertips, a damp sponge, or a dense bristle brush. Start in the center of the face and work your way out to the hairline to build a light, smooth application. So, and it says they always recommend to start with a light hand and building up to more coverage where needed. For added coverage, use an additional 1 to 2 more drops of foundation and gently blend and pat into those areas. So I'm gonna do that. So I shook up the bottle. Now I'm just going to take, it says 3 to 4 drops on the back of your hand. I feel like sometimes applying it to the back of the hand can almost like waste product. So I'm actually just going to apply it to my fingers. I mean, I'm sure that works, but I'm just going to apply 1 drop to 4 of my fingers because I'm going to do 4 drops. We're just starting off with this much. I feel like I'm going to need more, obviously, because I have a lot to cover up. So I'm just going to start by applying some to the centers of the face like it says, and then also on my forehead, put a little on the chin. So I'm actually going to kind of stipple this. I saw Caroline, her channel name is Cosmetics by Caroline. She did a review for this foundation and she actually recommended just dabbing it on the skin because she said that wiping it can kind of take away some of that coverage, and that makes a lot of sense, especially if you have acne prone skin. We're wanting to get as much coverage as we can. Maybe you're not, but stippling it is definitely going to help give a little more coverage than wiping it would. So that's what I'm doing. Obviously, that didn't really go super far, so I'm definitely going to need to apply more. And I feel like using my fingers for this is also just going to really help warm up the product, give it the most skin-like appearance. I really never really like how brushes look, especially when I have acne, because it just does not sit well when I use a brush. Using a sponge is normally my go-to way to apply foundation just because it gives such a seamless look, but for this one I'm trying it with my fingers. Alright, so I'm gonna need, I feel like, a lot more than 3 to 4 drops. Obviously, this is the light coverage that they're saying for 3 to 4 drops. And again, consider this is not supposed to be a full coverage foundation. So I'm just gonna take a couple more drops. I'm actually gonna take more than 2 more drops just because I really have a lot more to go. So I'm just taking more and I'm just gonna dab it all over my face. I get what they're saying by they say this is supposed to be like a serum-like kind of formula, and I definitely see where that's coming from. I do think that the skin is looking really healthy. It actually, let me like look up close so I can really tell you guys. Yeah, so on my forehead, like it doesn't even look like I have a foundation on. It looks super like natural. It has like a dewy finish like it says, and it looks really healthy. And I'm liking how that looks, although I will say, if you have acne, so I'm noticing just on like a couple spots right here, it's looking, I don't know if you guys can tell, there's just like a little bit of that foundation, almost like in a little bit of a patchiness around that blemish right there. But not surprising when you have blemishes. When you have blemishes a lot of time, unfortunately, the truth is that foundation does not sit great on the skin when you have acne. That's just the truth. Overall, I do think it's looking quite skin-like, which is really nice. Especially when you have acne, like you don't want to be putting on foundation that's going to look heavy or cakey, because that can almost look worse sometimes, at least in my opinion. So I do like how this is looking, but I'm going to add 4 more drops and just build this up a little bit more. See how much I can get out of this. I'm almost just like applying this as if I'm like putting on a serum, just like dabbing it into the skin like this. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna try to add a whole lot more coverage. Obviously, this is not supposed to be full coverage, so it's not expected that you can achieve that. So right now, for my acne-prone skin, I think that this is still a light coverage, but I do think that it's almost maybe working its way into possible like light medium coverage, if that makes sense, because obviously it's not going to cover up everything. But I am liking how it looks on this skin. Like if you don't want a foundation that's going to look heavy and you're okay with some of that acne poking through, but you want it to look natural and not like you have a bunch of foundation on, I'm liking how this is looking so far. But if you are wanting full coverage, if you're wanting to really cover up everything, this isn't one that you're going to want to go for. But I personally like how natural this is looking. It looks natural and healthy. The skin has a little bit of a glow to it, which is nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to apply the rest of my makeup, and then I'm going to kind of do a little bit of check-ins. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to wear this for like a full day, just because obviously my skin is breaking out like crazy, so I do want to let it breathe today, just take off all makeup, not have makeup on. But I do want to keep this on for a few hours so I can show you kind of how it's wearing. It says it's supposed to be a long-wearing foundation, so I do want to do, maybe I'll wear it for like 4 to 5 hours to just kind of give you guys an idea of how it is lasting on the skin, if it seems to be long lasting. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put the rest of my makeup on, and then I will do a little check-in with you guys. Alright, so I just finished applying the rest of my makeup. This is the completed look. Now, as you can see, like before, I do have the acne poking through. This is definitely a light coverage, maybe almost getting to the medium coverage, but still there is a lot showing. But so far I'm really liking how this is looking on the skin. I did go very light with bronzer just because bronzer right now can really just accentuate the acne even more. So I didn't put a whole lot of bronzer, put just a little bit of a blush. I did not set the face. I did not do any extra concealer or anything like that. I want you guys to really see how it works with just the foundation. I did put concealer under my eyes, but I didn't use any concealer for spot concealing. So before I do check-ins throughout the day, I do want to give you guys a little bit more information about the ingredients, if there are any ingredients that you should look out for if you do have acne-prone skin. So looking at their ingredient list, I noticed 2 ingredients that are kind of special concern if you do have acne-prone skin, and as you might guess, they are coconut oil related. There is coconut alkanes in here. On a comedogenic scale of 0 to 5, coconut alkane is a 4 or 5. So what that means is that there is a pretty high chance that this is going to clog your pores and cause breakouts if you do have acne prone skin. So that's one of the ingredients to note, and this is number 5 on their list of ingredients. So it is pretty close to the top of those ingredients. And another ingredient that may be of concern if you do have acne prone skin is caprylic triglyceride. So that is a derivative of coconut oil. So depending on the percentage that is used, it may clog the pores. Now this is kind of in the middle of their ingredients list. It's number 14 if I did count that right. So if you know that your skin does not react well to kind of coconut oil derivatives or just anything related to coconut oil, those are ingredients to look out for, and you just might want to just be aware of that. Now, I personally have tried some foundations that do have coconut oil derivatives in it, and I have not had an issue with it. For example, the RMS Uncover Up foundation. I know that foundation, it is a really thick foundation, so some people who have acne prone skin, it's just not their favorite foundation. I actually personally really like it because I really like the coverage that it gives, but it does have a coconut oil derivative in it, but I personally don't think that it causes me to break out. That's just my personal experience. So if you have acne prone skin and you know that those ingredients don't always cause issues, this might be a foundation that you still might be interested in trying out. But if you know that those ingredients do cause you to break out, then this is probably a foundation that you're not going to want to go for. So I'm going to continue to wear this foundation, see how it wears throughout the day, and I will check in with you guys throughout the day. Okay, so it's been an hour since I first applied the foundation, and I feel like it's still looking pretty much the same. I will say, if you like a very natural look, something that's not going to look heavy at all, I think that this is definitely one worth checking out. I really like how this looks on the skin. Obviously, it's not going to provide a lot of coverage if you have acne, and in general, it still is a pretty light coverage foundation, but I do think that it looks really pretty on the skin. Now, I do have combination to oily skin. It's not looking too oily yet. It does have a luminous finish, which I do think is really pretty. Yeah, not given much coverage there, obviously, but I mean, it's okay to let a little of that acne poke through sometimes, at least in my opinion. I'd rather have kind of a light coverage foundation that looks natural on the skin rather than a heavy foundation that just looks cakey. I just personally do not like that look. So yeah, so this is how it's looking after an hour. I'll do another check-in in a few more hours. Okay, so it has been about 2 hours now. I feel like my skin is feeling a little bit oily now, but nothing overly oily where I feel like I need to blot my skin or anything like that. But I just feel like I feel it a little bit, but not in a way where it feels uncomfortable. I still think it feels comfortable. Yeah. All right, guys, so I think I'm gonna want to take off the foundation suit and just my makeup in general. I just want to let my skin breathe. But I will say this feels very lightweight. I do like how this looks on the skin. If you don't have acne, if you don't have blemishes, if you don't have much to cover up, I think this is probably one that you would really like. I do really like the finish of this. I feel like it's really natural. It gives a little bit of a dewiness to the skin. It just looks really pretty and makes your skin look really healthy. Now, obviously, if you have blemishes, this is not going to be giving you full coverage. It's not going to be giving much coverage. It does give a very light, maybe medium coverage, but again, it's just, you're not going to totally cover up the blemishes, but I mean, it makes sense. The one thing I will say is as time goes on, I feel like I'm noticing just a little bit on the blemishes, as you can see right there. Just the foundation kind of it's like a little circle around the blemish, and that's only on some of them. It just gets a little obvious on some of the blemishes, but I mean, that's not surprising. I feel like any foundation is going to do that when you have acne. But in general, I don't feel like it's clinging to the rest of the skin much. It's showing texture, but any foundation is going to show texture if you have a lot of texture, at least for the most part. Yeah, it's probably going to show. But it looks still quite natural, and it just doesn't look heavy. It does feel really comfortable, like it says it's supposed to be comfortable to wear, and I definitely do agree with that. I do think it's very comfortable to wear. Now, I have combination to oily skin. I don't have super oily skin, and even after wearing this for a few hours, it's not looking overly dewy. Now, I mean, you might have a different experience. If you have oilier skin than I do, you might find that it gets more oily than you want it to. But really, that's just going to be a personal thing. It just really depends on your own skin type. but in general, I like it. So, final conclusion. If you don't have a lot to cover up, if you want a very natural, everyday makeup look, something that's going to give a very natural coverage, just something that's going to give a really natural finish, if you want to just make your skin look healthy and just give a little bit of coverage to it, I think that this is one that you're going to like. I do think that it is a really pretty foundation. But if you have acne and you want something that's going to have coverage, this isn't going to be one that's going to give you the coverage that you want. But if you don't mind the acne poking through, and you do want something that's not going to look super heavy, you are fine just having a little bit of coverage just to kind of minimize some of the redness, and you just don't want something that's going to be you don't want something that's going to be cakey and just look like super obvious like you have foundation on your skin. I think that this might be one that is worth a try. So really, it's personal preference if you're going to like it or not, if that makes sense. But hopefully this video helped you guys get an idea of what it will be like if you have acne-prone skin, if you do have acne on your skin. Also, I should add, as far as if I think it clogs the pores or if I think it causes breakouts, I'm going to have to do an update on that. I can totally include that in future videos, just in any random video I can include that. Or I can also just update you guys on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'd love to have you. My Instagram handle is ROUTINEBEAUTY with 3 Ys. I also have it linked in the description box below if you're curious. But I can definitely do updates on there as well. Obviously, I can't really tell you at this point yet if I think it causes breakouts, so I can definitely do updates for that. If you guys enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would let me know by giving me a thumbs up. And if you guys do want to see even more content from me in the future, I would love it if you guys would go ahead and subscribe to my channel. That would mean so much to me. Also, let me know if you guys have tried this foundation. Let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys do have any questions about this foundation, let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all for my next video. Bye, guys.